Hi, you're right. So far, we've been practicing solving a lot of equations, and we've had a look at a couple of different worded questions. But with 7G, which is what we're up to now, it's called applications of equations because we've been solving them like they're little puzzles, which has been great, but we haven't really thought too much about how they can be used in the real world and how they can solve real problems for us. Because that's why we are learning about equations, not to just solve little puzzles, to actually use them to help us out. So, let's look at this little bit here because this is a set of instructions that you can use, or a set of steps that you can use to help you solve worded problems or application problems, because it can be a little bit difficult, especially when we're starting. Okay, so as it says here, a set of steps to follow to help solve worded problems are, and there's 4 steps just here. The first step, define the variable. So we would remember that we've been using different letters. So there could have been an X, there could have been a C, there could have been a P. Define the variable means tell us what C means. Tell us what X means. Okay, so I'll show you how to do that very soon. The next one, step 2, write an equation to solve the problem. You might see I've got little asterisks here. This is probably the hardest step. I think people have the most trouble with it. So we're going to focus on that one a fair bit. But basically with that one, we're just reading the information that we've been given and we're trying to change it into an equation. Step 3, solve the equation. Now this is what you guys have been practicing a lot over the last couple of weeks. Okay, so if we've been practicing, if we're feeling good about it, we should be alright with this step. If we're not, that's okay. You just need to make sure you let me know. And then the fourth step, state your answer in words. So instead of leaving our answer as x equals 2 or x equals 3, whatever it might be, we need to say what that answer actually means. So we're going to practice that with a few questions just here. So we'll try to use those steps. Okay, so let's look at our first question. A lounge set that consists of 2 identical couches and 1 coffee table costs $1,050. The coffee table costs $250 alone. That's just by itself. Find the cost of 1 couch. Okay, so we need to choose a letter here. We're up to step 1, define the variable. So the cost of a couch, let's just say that's C. So C equals cost of a couch. So we've done step 1, we've defined that variable. We're up to step 2, which is the tough one. Write an equation to solve the problem. Okay, let's read it again. A lounge set consists of 2 identical couches and 1 coffee table, and it costs a total of $1,050. The coffee table alone costs $250. Okay, so that means 2 couches, so 2C, plus the cost of a coffee table. Do we see how it's already told us what the coffee table costs? So that's $250. So the cost of 2 couches and a coffee table is equal to $1,050. So we've just created our equation. All we need to do now, step 3, solve that equation. So you see how I've got a C here? We want to find out what that C equals. So we need to remember all the steps that we take to solve an equation. Alright, we want to get C by itself. I'm going to get rid of the 250 here by minusing it from both sides. So that means we'll have 2C plus 250 minus 250 is 0. So there's nothing else here. 1050 minus 250 is 800. Awesome. But remember, we want C by itself. So I'm going to divide by 2 here, divide by 2 there to cancel those ones out. C equals, now 800 broken into 2 even groups, divided by 2, is 400. Okay, so we've just solved the equation, haven't we? We've got C equals 400. Step 4, state your answer in words, because we want to really understand what we've found out here. So I could say, therefore, this is a little therefore symbol. If you haven't seen that before, you don't necessarily have to use it, but I like to. Okay, so we wanted to find the cost of a couch. We're going to answer that. The cost of 1 couch is 400. Now it's told us 400. 400 what? We can see we're measuring in dollars, aren't we? So it's $400. and we're finished. See how we can use what we already know to solve real problems? Let's go, or real world problems. Let's go to the next example. Okay, we're going to follow those same 4 steps. 2 is added to an unknown number and then tripled. Okay, this gives us the same result as if the unknown number was multiplied by 5. Let's look at this first bit to start with. Okay, now we needed to define the variable, or step number 1. So I'm going to use x. So x is the unknown number that we want to know. Okay, now let's read this and see if we can do step 2, which is come up with an equation. So 2 is added to an unknown number. Okay, so our unknown number was x, wasn't it? And 2 is added to it. Alright, there we go. And then it's tripled. So this whole thing is tripled. If I did 3 times x, that 2 wouldn't be tripled as well. We want the whole thing to be tripled. So we need to make sure that's in brackets there. Now let's keep reading. This gives the same result as if the unknown number was multiplied by 5. So same result, that would mean it's equal to if the unknown number was multiplied by 5. So if we have the unknown number and we multiply it by 5, that's 5x, isn't it? Alright, now we've done step 2. We just need to solve it. Okay, so we've worked with brackets before, so this is going to be 3 times that x and 3 times that 2 as well. So that should give us 3x plus 6. We can leave 5x on the other side. Awesome. Now normally, or what I've shown you in the past, is we want to leave our x's or our letters over here. You can move them to the other side as well. I'm going to do that this time, just to show that it might be the same. Okay, so I want to leave my x's over here, but I want to get rid of them from this side. So I'm going to say minus 3x to get rid of it. Minus 3x on the other side, because we have to do the same on both sides. So 3x minus 3x is nothing, but we're left with 6. 5x minus 3x would leave us with 2 x's. Alright, we want to get rid of that 2 from the x now, so we can solve for x. So we'll divide by 2, because it's the opposite to times 2. We have to do it to the other side too. So we end up getting 6 divided by 2 is 3. And x. So x is 3. We've just solved our equation. But the last step is we have to give our answer in words. So we just worked out that the unknown number is 3. Done. Alright, last example here, and we're still going to follow those same steps. Alright, the perimeter of the rectangle below is 72 centimeters. We can see our rectangle here. So that plus that plus that plus that all adds to 72 to determine the value of x. Okay, now x is, it looks like it's a measure of length, isn't it? So 4 x's would make up this bit and 2 x's would make up this bit. So x is an unknown distance. We've just defined our variable. I'll say length, unknown length. Okay, now perimeter. So hopefully we remember perimeter is the sum of all the sides of this shape. So the perimeter would be this, which is 4x, plus this, which is 2x, plus this, and hopefully you remember that if you got little lines like that, identical lines mean the same length. So plus this would be plus 4x, and this one's the same as that one, so plus another 2x. Now, if you add all those ones up together, that's the perimeter, isn't it? But they also told us that the perimeter is 72 centimeters. So all these added together will give us 72 centimeters. Okay. We've got lots of stuff here, don't we? We've got 4 x's and another 2 and another 4 and another 2. We can put all these x's together. So how many do we have in total? We've got 4 plus 2 is 6 plus another 4 is 10, plus another 2 is 12. So we've got 12 x's. Alright, now we want to solve this equation that we've made. So we've got times 12, we want to divide by 12. To cancel it out, we need to do the same on the other side. Okay, so that's going to give us x. 72 divided by 12 is 6. Okay, so let's give our answer in words, because that's our fourth step. So therefore, the unknown length, which is the value for x, is 6, but 6 what? It was measured in centimeters, 6 centimeters. And we're done. Thanks, Year 8. Have a go at those questions that relate to you. Thank you. Bye.